Alright, Pacific Rim Uprising. I know I had a blast with this film. My buddy had a blast with this film. It still has that silliness, cheesiest, dumb vibe within the film, but it was a good film in all total. It takes place after 10 years after the original film, which was directed by Guillermo del Toro. Now we got a new director, David. I can't remember his last name. So David's taking helm. Now I want to address a few things. Maybe address. I don't care who's directing it, as long as you still make a good, entertaining film, which I paid money to see. I know what I'll say. I'll give it to you. That being said, even the first film did have a plot, and okay, it was still interesting to see, and the future had a possibility of doing whatever they want to do with it. This one, yeah, it still has a plot in there a little bit, but there are characters that don't get developed too quickly. Sometimes it goes a little too fast, but who cares when you? But I say screw that when you see just big ass giant mech robots fighting mech robots against kaiju as well. It's like, oh man, it's so awesome. Then that's where the film shines the most. I follow John's Boyega character, who's the son to Idris Elba's character, and he and his ragtag team are now about to save the world while discovering a new set of threats. And that's about it. That's about it. Okay. After 10 years, the world is starting to rebuild itself. Almost somewhat a futuristic place setting, like kind of Tokyo, but all right, it's kind of neat and interesting to see where this going and how not the entire world is recovered. A lot of times they still struggle through and they even touch briefly on how you can get old Jaeger parts from these giant robots, it's called Jaegers, and sell them for scrap to make some money, so that quick extra cash. So that's cool and that's interesting to me. They don't play it too often, but it's like okay, but now we're rolling. And as I said, there's still a plot there where they got to figure out okay who's controlling these new Jaegers, why they're turning rogue, why the kaiju is starting to briefly come back around, but then that's it. And also we gotta train some new recruits who are severely under who get the very lack of development, say for one of the younger actors, but they are severely underrated, and that can't be helped. Sometimes it just has to happen to do with the script. Maybe it could be director's choice. It could be editing process, but who cares? But like I said, we get to giant robots fighting giant robots against giant fucking monsters. Hell, fucking yeah! That is when the film shines the most. The visuals in this film are 10 times better than the visuals in the previous film. Heck, they're good improvement over. Now you can see these guys in bright light, just incredible how each of the mechs move. Now you feel every impact, every punch, every sword, every gunshot, every fighting these monsters, or even the kaiju's themselves are just fucking badass. Even where they see the new kaiju is just freaking awesome. And I will say that while these fights are much faster, much fluid, and you actually can see them, Michael Bay still needs to learn. Michael Bay should learn that for the Transformers film. I will say the fights are kind of brief and kind of quick, save the last battle and one in the middle. So they're kind of brief, kind of quick, but who cares? Some people say, "Oh man, they throw the realism out." Did you realize they built giant fucking mechs? Mechs, okay? They built mechs, so who cares? Just let me see the mechs fight. I don't care if they throw realism out there or not. I mean, they have plasma cannons for Pete's sake. They gotta use two people to control them, like the Avas did in Evangelion. Who cares? Who cares if it's realism or not? It's giant mechs fighting giant monsters. That's what I paid to see, and they delivered full on. I will say that parts of where the film suffers the most is through its plot. There's not much really going on with the plot besides from finding out, like I said, who are controlling the robots and why the kaiju are coming back now, or why were they popping up in different places. So why? So that kind of suffers down. Also, we have a whole train arc that looks like that we should have in the film is quickly tossed to the side, or just like I said, it's just really underdeveloped. Nothing kind of moves forward too much from that. Besides, hey, here's your new recruits. A couple people don't like her. That's it. We'll teach you how to be likable at least, and that's it. Moving on, moving forward. I also kind of do like the brief touch on how they got child actors playing this role, so this is interesting. Even though, yes, they never know when the threat's gonna come, that could be something interesting to see. Also, I do like a nice political. There's also a very nice touch of a political aspect that goes on in this film. Just like you see it briefly, but if you notice, it's like, oh, that's cool, that's interesting. That could be really interesting to see, but it doesn't do much to move the film forward. They touch it briefly, and then we're moving on. It's like, yes, okay, we're moving on. That being said, is this a bad film? No, it's not a bad film entirely. I say Pacific Rim Uprising did a better job on its sequel than what Star Wars: The Last Jedi did. Yeah, I'm going that far. Screw you, Ryan Johnson. Screw you, and I will screw you, Ryan Johnson, for messing up Star Wars and mess up Star Wars. But yeah, maybe it was too kind for that. Maybe with my when I first saw Star Wars: Last Jedi. But looking back at it now, it's like yeah, they kind of messed up the Last Jedi. But Uprising, I will say, for a franchise like Pacific Rim, they still have the potential to go forward. And I will say they might, if this does well, we might get the sequel or a somewhat spin-off, kind of like what Star Wars and Star Trek is doing right now. I still enjoy this film. The plot is a little bit all over the place. It's kind of basic. The actions with these mechs are more badass. They're fast. They're fluid. You actually get to see the actions. Characters are still underdeveloped. Save for John Boyega's character, which gets like 75% of the screen time and gets the most dialogue. His character is more fully developed than all the others. I would wish some of them were used. I really wish we would put more effort into getting me attached to these child actors because they do have a lot of potential to move forward onto. And hopefully I see that in the spin-off. I will say like doesn't matter if it has Del Toro or not. I still like this film. It's still a cheesy sci-fi mech action film, which I love the most. That combines everything from mech genre from Japan, like Gundam, Evangelion, even the live action Super Sentai, or in the West we call it Power Rangers. So yes, it's all that goodness from the mech genre is still there. I still like it. I will give Pacific Rim Uprising an 8 out of 10. That's what I get the first Pacific Rim, and I still say it still earns my money. Go out and go and see it, and please, we gotta get another one. I just want to see another one so badly. Maybe Del Toro can write the next one, or he can just help out more. Who cares who's directing it? I still had a blast with this film. Enjoy Pacific Rim Uprising like I did. Have a good one.